I appreciate it, Toby. Thank you all for taking the time to be here, and thank you to Linda and to Tony and the team and everybody that is foundational in terms of being so essential in advancing this cause. Look, it's a remarkable moment we're living in, and I think that goes without saying. In so many respects, it's a remarkable moment we're living in, but a particularly remarkable moment as relates to the national conversation on public education and education reform, or the lack of a conversation that has any real meaning or substance. The biggest and perhaps loudest voices for education reform in the United States come from some East Coast, or rather Southern states, notably Florida, that have been talking about banning books, that have expressed offense to something called critical race theory, but having had a difficult time to identify exactly where and when it's been placed in our K through 12 education system, they're now turning the page to going after social and emotional learning. You've seen that clearly demonstrated by the governor of Florida. You've seen efforts around schools and school safety morph into conversations around schools becoming armed camps, not places of peace. Policies around doors and locks. And the contrast to this conversation, the contrast to the leaders that are assembled here today, couldn't be more profound, couldn't be more pronounced. Over the last few years, something really exciting has been taking place and shape here in the state of California. With all the noise, it hasn't gotten the kind of attention that we believe, I think all of us believe, it deserves, and the people of the state of California deserve. Creating a brand new grade, TK for all, in the state of California. The work we have done to make real the promotion and promise over the course, quite literally, of decades, to extend the school day, after school for all California students, summer school for all California students. The notion that those two things alone are being advanced in this state are points of real pride, but also points of distinction. We are in a process of doing more to reimagine public education than I believe any state in this country. Not just TK for all, after school and summer school for all, the work you all did, we did together, legislature and many others, on universal school meals. No one does that. No one is doing that. We're very proud of that. We're also very proud of the fact that this state is investing in what brings us here today, and that's community schools. We recognize that we need to break down silos. We recognize we have to engage the community and engage parents in a much more dynamic and meaningful way, giving our community and giving our parents and families more choice, but also a voice that respects the professionalism that resides within our education system, but an important voice in building capacity and partnership and providing opportunities and expanding those opportunities by expanding those schools and engaging in a community construct and engaging community members, building public partnerships, not just public-private partnerships, engaging CBOs, and beginning to provide the kind of quality care for families that addresses not just academic needs, not just social emotional needs, but more broadly, the challenges that are persistent and consistent in communities large and small up and down the state of California. This opportunity around community schools is very exciting. Designed at the local level, funded by the contribution, $3 billion, which we initiated with the legislature, and another $1.5 billion we're requesting of the legislature in this fiscal year. The opportunity to reimagine and re-engage, the opportunity to provide supports that reside outside of the school system and bring those supports into the school system. All of that presents itself anew because of the work we're doing here today. And I'll just close because I don't want to belabor it, but I want to just express my extraordinary enthusiasm, not just gratitude, by the fact that, as Toby said, we've initiated this process. We're not just talking about it. those 268 school partners in the county and school district level, the opportunities with now the $650 million of grants seeding this process, creating a point person at each one of these school sites to develop a comprehensive strategy is real now. It's not just being promoted, as well as expressing my gratitude to the partnerships that will help us oversee this in a much more granular level and a macro level for that matter. And that's UCLA, the Alameda County District and their team helping us to really look at this design and to look at this proposal in a way where we can enliven others across this country to consider similar strategies. I'll just close again with just deep gratitude, particularly addressing, and I think this is important, for this initiative to address perhaps the most stress-filled issue of our time, and that's adolescent mental health. A critical component of community schools is addressing not just the physical, but adolescent mental health needs. This is part not just of the community schools initiative, but also part of the $4.5 billion we separately funded for all of our youth 0 to 25. No other state in the country. That's a critical component, these two pieces, to address the issue that's being debated in Washington, D.C., been discussed despite being funded in places like Texas, but is being advanced here in historic and unprecedented ways. Thank you to all of you for being so forceful in your advocacy to move us in this direction. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you, Toby, and your team and the board for making real something we've been talking about for quite literally decades in this state. And this community schools initiative that's just getting started, I think is going to have a profound impact for a generation of kids. And I couldn't be more proud of you, CTA and others, and all of our team for their strong advocacy over the course of the last number of years. So forgive me, everybody, for being long-winded, but I'm really excited and proud to be here talking more about this remarkable initiative.